Setting a program motivation with three parts. Refuge field, Bodhicitta field. Oh, can you hear me? Okay, thank you. Setting a program motivation, which has three parts: refuge field, Bodhicitta field, and the purpose of this practice. First, the refuge field. For this, what to visualize and how to visualize. And refuge field determines to what extent you could visualize the refuge field seriously. That determines the stability of the Dhamma practice. With the support is the refuge. I go for refuge in the Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha. When the support is very strong, your practice, no doubt, will be very strong. But the reality is that the Azure Dharma knowledge and conviction and experience deepen. Refuge also, sense of refuge also deepens. And initially, to have a sense of refuge very strong, this is most likely not the case. But this is the only way. For example, say, when I first joined the Institute of Buddhist Architects, I was born in as a Buddhist family, and the refuge was just there right from the beginning. But in retrospect, when I think of my childhood, I could see that the sense of refuge that I had was so shallow. There was no knowledge of the Dharma. So likewise, and this is the case for all of us, where deeper knowledge, deeper conviction, more experience of the Dharma, the realizations, and deeper is your refuge. But this is how we have to start. For the refuge, visualize Buddha Shakyamuni and His Holiness the Dalai Lama and all the great masters from the Chinese tradition, Tibetan tradition, Theravada tradition, from all these great masters, from Sakya, Kaiku, Nyingma, Gedo, and if you are a Hindu, think of the Hindu god and goddesses who you really feel, not because that I'm Hindu, I'm a Buddhist, so therefore somebody should be there. It should be more like that figure, like say the Ram symbolizes the compassion to me, or let's say Lord Mahavir symbolizes the compassion to me, ahimsa to me. It really resonates with the practice of ahimsa, the non-violence. So this is how we have to take. For example, simply because that I'm a Buddhist, it's not that anything of a Buddhist should be there in my mind. Not necessary. The only thing is that you should grow. You should become a happier person. And for that matter, whosoever is the role model for compassion, for wisdom. So that is what we need to visualize here. What to visualize and how to visualize. Number two, how to visualize is to visualize them as the real embodiment of compassion, as though like they are actually looking at you with so much love, care, affection, and attention. If you can do that, then the refuge really becomes very powerful and strong. Okay, so this is what we need to do. Just let us take a few seconds to reflect on this, what to visualize and how to visualize for your refuge field. And for the Bodhicitta field, again, what to visualize and how to visualize. Here, let's visualize your two grandparents on the two sides and all your family members, including children, and all the dear mother sentient beings who are here in Thosamling, human beings, animals, insects, hungry ghosts, hell beings, god and goddesses, spirits, Gandharvas, and all these beings in India, in your own country, in the world, in the Milky Way galaxy, in the entire universe. And how you visualize them. That you are like a very affectionate mother and all others are like your children. And imagine that how you as a mother would look at the eyes of each of the sentient beings with so much love, affection, attention and care, to the extent that each one of them feels themselves as so special in your eyes. And the purpose of this practice is to identify, is to discover your ultimate treasure inside you, ultimate treasure of fearlessness and infinite happiness. We technically refer to as the Buddha nature, the Tathagata Garbha. So it is there, but how come that we don't experience the fearlessness and infinite happiness? Because that this is for the reason that this treasure is covered, it is sullied, it is obscured by the metal defilements. Like the gold, when mixed with the mud, although the nature of the gold is to glow, but because of the mud, it doesn't glow. It doesn't mean the gold is absent there. Is obscured by the mud. Likewise, the Buddha energy inside us is blocked by the mental defilements. And how to remove these mental defilements? For this, we need to know the nature of the mental defilements. And these mental defilements are of two kinds: the gross and the subtle. The gross one referred to as the afflictive obscurations. The presence of this stops us from attaining fearlessness, which is technically referred to as nirvana. And this afflictive obscurations is of three kinds: contaminated karmas, afflictions, and the active seeds. And whereas the cognitive obscuration is the subtle smell of the garlic-like mental defilements, very subtle ones, which the presence of this stops us from experiencing cognitively being active to see all phenomena simultaneously, and also that it stops us from experiencing infinite happiness. And how to get rid of these two defilements is by resorting to a very powerful remedy. And the remedy, given that these defilements somehow, either they are the self-grasping ignorance or the offshoots of the self-grasping ignorance, or the subtle states of the self-grasping ignorance, somehow everything is rooted, connected, linked with the self-grasping ignorance. So the remedy to overcome this ignorance alone is the ultimate liberating path for all of us. What is that liberating path? The wisdom of emptiness. And this wisdom of emptiness must be complemented, even if the axe is very sharp. But if the woodcutter does not have the enthusiasm, motivation, if he is lacking the motivation, no matter how sharp the axe is, it cannot be used to cut the poisonous tree. So for that we need a very strong motivation of the Bodhicitta to cut this cognitive obscurations. And this Bodhicitta must be supported by renunciation, unless until you have the desire to have the experience of wanting to get rid of the fears within myself. How can you possibly extend this to other beings, wishing others to be freed from this fear? So to experience Bodhicitta, we must have to have the prior experience of renunciation. So with the very strong desire that I must cultivate these three things within my mind: renunciation, Bodhicitta, and wisdom of emptiness. And all these three supported by very powerful shamatha or single point meditation. That as the motivation, imagine the regulating this recitation, and all Tiamata Sunchi means that they are joining you in this the practice. And all the Buddhist Bodhisattvas, they are watching us. Okay, page 3. And teach by great compassion, you taught the Immaculate Dharma to dispel all perverted views. To you, the Buddha Gautama, I pay homage. And teach by great compassion, you taught Immaculate Dharma to dispel all perverted views. To you, the Buddha Gautama, I pay homage. And teach by great compassion, you taught the Immaculate Dharma to dispel all perverted views. To you, the Buddha Gautama, I pay homage. I go for refuge until I'm enlightened to the Buddha, the Dhamma, and the Sangha. By my accumulations through the practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge until I'm enlightened to the Buddha, the Dhamma, and the Sangha. By my accumulations through the practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge until I'm enlightened to the Buddha, the Dhamma, and the Sangha. By my accumulations through the practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. Sanye Joda Soge Chonam Da Chanjo Bardo Dane Yakso Che Tage Jinso Gebe Sonam Ge Dola Benjire Sanye Dubarai Shu Sanye Joda Soge Chonam Da Chanjo Bardo Dane Yakso Che Tage Jinso Gebe Sonam Ge Dola Benjire Sanye Dubarai Sho Sanye Joda Soge Chonam Da Chanjo Bardo Dane Gyalzo Je Dage Jinso Kebe Sonam Gi Dola Benjire Sanye Dubarai Sho. I go for refuge until, independent origination, there is no ceasing, no arising, no annihilation, no permanence, no coming, no separateness, no sameness. I prostrate to the consummate Buddha, the supreme among all teachers, the one who taught this peace which is freed of elaborations. I prostrate to the mothers of the hearers, the Bodhisattvas and the Buddhas, who through the knowledge of all these hearers seeking pacification, complete peace, who through the knowledge of the paths cause those achieves the aims of the world, and who through the possession of omniscience have subdued and expanded variety of teachings. The one who has transformed into the reliable guide, motivated by altruism to benefit sentient beings. The teachers who guard them protected to you and make prestations. The one who has eliminated the web of conceptualizations and is endowed with the divine bodies of the vast and the profound, who eternally shall before the forever noble light rays. To you the Buddha make prestations. Inspired by wisdom and compassion, today in the Buddha's presence, I generate the mind of full awakening for the benefit of all sentient beings. Om Ye Dharma Hetu Prabhavam Hetum Tesham Tathagato Yavatat Tesham Chayo Nirodha Evam Vati Mahashramana Yesvaha. Om Ye Dharma Hetu Prabhavam Hetum Tesham Dathagato Yavatat Tesham Chayo Nirodha Evam Vati Mahashramana Yesvaha. Om Ye Dharma Hetu Prabhavam Hetum Tesham Dathagato Yavatat Tesham Chayo Nirodha Evam Vati Mahashramana Yesvaha. All phenomena arise from causes. The causes are taught by the Tathagata. The cessation causes as well as taught by the grace here. Peaceful elaboration free, clear light, non-composite, such as the nectar Dharma I've discovered. Finding one in silence are eternal words. Beyond utterance, thought, and expression is the professional wisdom, which is unborn, unseized, and has the nature of space. Is the augury apprehension of self-realized wisdom. To you, the mother of the Buddhas of the 3 times of obeisance. the forces of Buddhist teachings. All composite things are impermanent. All contaminated things are the nature of suffering. All phenomena are the nature of emptiness and selflessness. Transcending sorrows, peace. The Guru is the Buddha, the Guru is Dhamma, likewise the Guru is the Sangha. The Guru is the source of everything wholesome. I go for refuge in the Guru. By the sound of the vibrant drum of Dhamma, you liberate all beings from miseries. I beseech you to kindly remain and give teachings until the end at the expense of billions of eons. The Buddha does not wash the negativities of beings, nor does he remove their miseries by his hands. His spiritual realization to the suchness of the beings are liberated. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered miseries gloom. If you are attached to this life, you are not a spiritual practitioner. If you are attached to this samsara, you have no renunciation. If you are attached to your own self-interest, you have no bodhicitta. If there is grasping, you do not have the view. Page 14. Praise to Shakyamuni Buddha. To the founder, the endowed transcendent destroyer, the one gone beyond, the full destroyer, completely perfected, full awakened being, perfect in knowledge and good conduct, Sugata, Lord of the world, supreme God of human beings to be tamed, teacher of the gods and human beings, to you the complete and fully awakened one, the endowed transcendent destroyer, the glorious conqueror, the subduer from the Shaggy clan, I persuade me offerings and go for refuge. When all supreme amongst humans, you were born on this earth, you paced our 7 strides, then said, I am supreme in this world. To you who are wise, then I prostrate. With pure bodies, form supremely pure, wisdom motion like a golden mountain, fame that blazes in the 3 worlds, winner of the best, Lord, to you I prostrate. With the supreme science, face like a spotless moon, color like gold, to you I prostrate. Prostrate like you, to you I prostrate. The Savior having great compassion, the Founder having all understanding, the field of medical qualities the vast ocean, to you the Tathagata I prostrate. The purity that frees one from attachment, virtue that frees one from the lower realms, the one path, the sublime pure reality, to the Dhamma that I prostrate. Those who are liberated, wholly feel qualified with realizations, who are devoted to the moral precepts, to you the Sangha I prostrate. Do not commit any non-virtuous actions, perform only perfect virtuous actions. Subdue your mind thoroughly, this is the teaching of the Buddha. A star, a vision aberration, a flame of lamp, an illusion, a drop of dew or a bubble, a drain of flash of lightning, a cloud, see, conditioned things as such. Through this marriage may sentient beings attain the rank of all-seeing, subdue the 4 faults, and be delivered from samsara's ocean, perturbed by the waves of sickness. Okay, Heart Sutra, page 29. Heart Sutra, the professional of the Wisdom Sutra. I prostrate to the Arya Jewel Gem. Thus did I hear at one time the Buddha was dwelling on Masa Valsa's mountain Rajgriha, together with a great community of monks and a great community of bodhisattvas. At that time, the Buddha was absorbed in the concentration of the categories of phenomena called profound illumination. Also at that time, the Bodhisattva, Mahasattva, Aryavaditeshvara touched upon the very practice of the profound illumination of wisdom, and behold, this also has empty of inherent nature. Then through the power of the Buddha, the Venerable Shariputra said this to the Bodhisattva, Mahasattva, Aryavaditeshvara, profound professional wisdom trained. He said that, and the Bodhisattva, Mahasattva, Aryavaditeshvara said, lineage who wishes to practice the activity of profound professional wisdom should look upon it like this, correctly and repeatedly beholding those 5 aggregates also as empty of inherent nature. A form is empty, emptiness is form. Emptiness is not other than form, form is also not other than emptiness. In the same way, feeling, discrimination, composite factors, and Shariputra, all phenomena are empty, without characteristic, unproduced, unceased, stainless, not without stain, not deficient, not fulfilled. Shariputra, therefore, in emptiness there is no form, no feeling, no discrimination, no composite factors, no consciousness, no eye, no ear, no nose, no tongue, no body, no mind, no visual form, no sound, no smell, no taste, no object touch, and no phenomenon. There is no I element and so on up to and including no mental consciousness element. There is no ignorance, no extinction of ignorance, and so on up to and including no aging in death, no extinction of aging in death. Similarly, there is no suffering, origination, cessation upon. There is no exalted wisdom, no attainment, and also no non-attainment. Shariputra, therefore, because there is no attainment, bodhisattvas rely on and dwell in professional wisdom, the mind without obscuration and thus without fear. Having completely passed beyond error, dwell in the truth becomes also manifesting completely awakened to unsurpassable, perfect, complete enlightenment and reliance on the professional wisdom. Therefore, the mantra of the professional wisdom, the mantra of great knowledge, the unsurpassed mantra, mantra equal to the unequaled, mantra that thoroughly pacifies all suffering, should be known as truth since it knows faults. The mantra of the professional wisdom is declared Yatha Om Gade Gade Para Samgade Bodhi Swaha. Shariputra, the Bodhisattva Mahasattva should train in the profound professional wisdom like that. Then the Buddha arose from that concentration and commanded the Bodhisattva Mahasattva Bodhicitta, saying, well said, son of the lineage, it is like that, it is like that. We should practice a profound professional wisdom just as we've indicated. Even the Tathagatas rejoice. The Buddha having thus spoken, the Venerable Shariputra, the Bodhisattva Mahasattva Bodhicitta, who was surrounded in the entirety along with the world of gods, humans, asuras, and gandharvas, were overjoyed and highly praised as spoken by the Buddha. Yata Om Gade Gade Parasamgate Bodhi Swaha Om Gate Gate 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 Parasamgate Bodhi Swaha. By the teachings of the three supreme jewels possessing power of truth, may inner and outer hindrance be transformed, may they be dispelled, may they be non-existent, may they be pacified, May all negative forces opposed to the Dharma be completely pacified. May the host of 80,000 obstacles be pacified. May we be separated from problems and conditions harmful to the Dharma. May all enjoyments be in accord with the Dharma. May all our perfect happiness pervade this place now. Okay. 8 verses of mind training, page 35. 8 verses for training the mind. With the determination to achieve the highest aim for the benefit of all sentient beings, which surpasses even the wish-fulfilling gem, I hold them dear at all times. Whenever I view myself as the lowest amongst all, and from the very depths of my heart respectfully hold others as superior. In all my deeds may I probe into my mind, and as soon as mental and emotional afflictions arise, as they endanger myself and others, I strongly confront them and avert them. When I see beings of unpleasant character, of strong negativity and suffering, may I hold them dear, for they are rare to find, as they have discovered as true treasure. When others out of jealousy treat me wrongly with abuse, slander, and scorn, may I take upon myself the defeat and offer to others the victory. When someone whom I have held or in whom I place great hopes mistreats me in extremely hurtful ways, may I regard them still as my precious teacher. In brief, may offer it benefit indirectly. May I quietly take upon myself all the hurts and pains among others. May all this remain undefiled by the stains of the 8 mundane concerns. And may I recognize all these things, the illusions, without clinging, be released from bondage. From my true collections, vast the space that I've amassed from working with effort and this practice for a great length of time, may I become the shield-leading Buddha for all those whose minds wisdom is blind with ignorance. Okay, 7 practice, page 37. I bow down to the youthful Arya Manjushri. You are the Buddha that lies amongst humans, gone to freedom in the present, past, and future, in the world's of 10 directions. To all of you with body, speech, and sincere mind, I bow down. With our energy, with a sense of great respect, and with as many bodies as atoms of the world, to all you Buddhas who visualize as real, I bow down. On every atom are the Buddhas numberless as particles. He is the midst of the host of Bodhisattvas, and I am confident the sphere of all phenomena is entirely filled with the Buddhas in this way. With infinite oceans of praise for you, and oceans of sound from the aspects of my voice, I sing the breathtaking excellence of the Buddhas and celebrate all of you Sugātas. Beautiful flowers and regal garlands, sweet music and scented oils and parasols, sparkling lights and sublime incense, offered to victorious ones, the Buddhas. Fine dress and fragrant perfumes, sandalwood powder to help all one's offerings in spectacular array, offered to you victorious ones. With transcendent offerings, peerless and vast, with profound admiration for all the Buddhas, with strength of conviction in the Bodhisattva way, offer and bow down to all victorious ones. Every harmful action I've done with my body, speech, and mind, overwhelmed by attachment, anger, and ignorance, all these I openly dare bear before you. I lift my heart and rejoice in all the merits of the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas in 10 directions, of solitary realizers here still training, and those beyond, and of all ordinary beings. You who are the bright lights of the worlds in 10 directions, who attain the Buddha's omniscience through the stages of awakening, all you who are my guides, please turn the supreme wheel of Dharma. With palms together, I earnestly request you who may actualize parinirvana, please take with us for eons numberless as atoms of the world, for the happiness, well-being of one breath in samsara. Whatever slight merit I may have accumulated by making prostrations, offering and confessing, rejoicing and requesting that the Buddha's stay and teach, and not dedicate all this for the full awakening of all beings. A mantle offering, page 40. Okay, how many of you don't know this hand gesture? Raise hands. Okay. Raise hands. Lakshmi, the gentleman right there will teach you. And okay, your name? Okay, true Lakshmi. Okay, Lakshmi here, young Bella, teach. And anyone else? Okay, Laduna will teach the Ranjanaji there, and Srinshula there. What's your name? Kirti. Okay, Srinshula, you'll teach Kirti. And Twin, you know how to do this. You teach the. Okay, anyone else? Raise hands. Okay. Your name? Rinzila. Rinzila will teach the lady there. What's your name? Rajni. And the young boy there. Your name? Huh? Sunil. Okay. So you have two students. Okay. Padma. Sadhana. Okay. The Maria, you know how to do this. You teach sadhana. Okay, anyone else? Okay. Okay, anyone else? Some teachers, they're not actually teachers. They make it happen. They don't teach how to make it happen. Yeah. Okay, now we have not much time. So once you have identified your teachers, after this, you will receive help of your teacher after this class. Okay. But this hand gesture is not necessary. It's not mandatory, right? We can do something like this for the time being. Good. Yes. So basically, the idea is that in the center, the two ring fingers standing up, that is supposed to be Mount Meru. Mount Meru. And on the four sides, you see the four continents. Four continents. It is the gesture to offer everything, the best that you can think of in this universe. In fact, offering the whole universe to the Buddhist Bodhisattvas. Okay, this is the gesture. Even without this, finally, what you think, the wholeheartedness, the purity of your heart in offering everything good that exists in the universe to all Buddhist Bodhisattvas, that counts. But the hand gesture is also, if you know how to do this, it's better to do it. Okay. This ground, anointed with perfume, strewn with flowers, adorned with Mount Meru, the four continents, the sun and the moon. I imagine this is a Buddha filled and offer it. All sentient beings enjoy this pure land. O Sajibege George The four Dhammas Venerable Gamapa. May I be blessed that my mind is directed towards the Dharma. May I be blessed that my Dharma practices on the proper path. May I be blessed that the path is free of flaws. May I be blessed that the flaws are seen and the light is exalted wisdom. Becoming utterly frustrated with the ignorance that grasps the true existence, Please bless with a genuine renunciation, seeing all aspects of samsara as viciously repulsive. Please bless me that my mind overflows with the precious bodhicitta that cherishes others more than myself. Please bless me to have an immaculate experience of the wisdom of emptiness that does not see even an atom of intrinsic reality on the basis of understanding how things come into being by dependent origination through mere conditioning. Please bless me that my mind overflows with the precious wisdom of the non-duality of bliss and emptiness. Edam Guru Ratnam Mandalavam Nirateyami. Okay, so in the end, when you dismantle this hand gesture, and even when you actually physically offer the mandala with the mandala set, you do that. And then when you say Idam Guru Ratnam Mandalam, you dismantle it, put it into the self. So in fact, you've already offered this to all the Buddhas Bodhisattvas. Now you receive this back in the form of the blessings. So you dismantle it with your self. That is Idam Guru Ratnam Mandalagam Niratyami. Even the mandala set, you turn it with yourself. And when you do that, imagine that all these blessings, they find the spot where you had received the blessings should be your heart. The heart actually is not the biological heart, it's a place where your mind, the final residence of your mind, is. So your mind should receive these blessings. Finally, what transforms you as an ordinary person to the enlightened one is your mind. Your mind should become the Buddha. When your mind becomes omniscient one, then automatically the body which comes out of this mind, the speech that comes out as the outcome of this mind, they all become the enlightened speech, enlightened body, and enlightened mind. So they receive all these blessings towards your mind. So this is where the mind, when I point to here, this main residence, but it's not that your mind is always here. This for example, my main residence is in Delhi, and His Holiness Dalai Lama, the main residence Dharamsala. But in the early days, His Holiness, travels everywhere. But his main residence is Dharamsala. Likewise, the mind, the main residence is here, according to Tantra. Okay. The foundation of all good qualities. This is a roadmap. And so this is whatever we've done before. They are like creating the foundation for us. Now, with the sound foundation, we lay the road to the enlightenment. With this, and then the next part is actually walking the path. The foundation of all good qualities is a kind and perfect guru, your guru. Correct devotion to him is the root of the path. By clearly seeing this and applying great effort, please bless me to rely upon him with great respect. Understanding that the precious freedom of this rebirth is found only once, is greatly meaningful and is difficult to find again. Please bless me to generate the mind that unceasingly day and night takes its essence. This life is as impermanent as a water bubble. Remember how quickly it decays and death comes. After that, just like a shadow follows the body, the results of virtuous and non-virtuous come and follow. Finding firm and definite conviction in this, please bless me always to be careful, to abandon even the slightest negativity, and accomplish all virtuous deeds. Samsaric splendors are unsatisfying and unreliable. Seeking them is the door to all suffering. Recognizing these shortcomings, please bless me to generate a strong wish for the bliss of liberation. That but is pure thought, mindfulness, alertness, and great caution and advice. The root of the teachings is keeping the Pratimoksha vows. Please bless me to accomplish this essential practice. Just as I have fallen into the sea of samsara, so have all mother migratory beings. Please bless me to see this training in Supreme Bodhicitta and bear the responsibility of freeing migratory beings. Even if I develop Bodhicitta, but I don't practice the 3 types of morality, I'll not achieve enlightenment. With a clear recognition of this, please bless me to practice the Bodhisattva vows with great energy. Once I pacify distractions to wrong objects and correctly analyze the meaning of reality, please bless me to generate quickly within my mind stream the unified path of karma abiding, especially this side. Having become a pure vessel by training in the general path, please to enter the holy gateway of the fortunate ones, the supreme Vajra vehicle. At that time, the basis of accomplishing the two attainments is keeping pure vows and samaya. As I become firmly convinced of this, please bless me to protect these vows and pleasures like my life. Then, having realized the importance of the two stages, essence Vajrayana, by practicing with great energy, never giving up the 4 sessions, please bless me to realize the teachings of the Holy Guru. And that may the Gurus who show the noble path, and spiritual friends who practice it in long lives, please bless me to pacify completely all out and inner hindrances. In all my lives, never separated from perfect Gurus, I enjoy the manifested Dharma by completing the qualities of the stages of the paths by could attain the state of Vajradhara. Makes the mantra. You are Avalokiteshvara, great treasure of non-referential compassion, and Manjushri, master of the flawless wisdom, as well as Vajrapani, destroying hordes of demons without exception. Tsongkhapa, crown jewel of the sages of the land of snows, those on top by your feet and make prostrations. Okay, we'll say this by skipping the third line in Tibetan. Avalokiteshvara, great treasure of non-referential compassion, and Manjushri, master of flawless wisdom, as well as Vajrapani, destroyed hordes of demons without exception. Tsongkhapa, crown jewel of the sages of the land of snows, those on top by dear feet that make prostrations. Okay, next. In Tibetan, Tamje Ninju Simgyeba, generated the mouth of consuming yoga. So the road on the road is already made. Now we have to walk this road. So the walking, there are 4 practices. 1, single point meditation to support the 3 principal aspects of the path. And the main thing which transforms our mind is, for example, let's say, simply by meditating on the, say, breathing meditation, shamatha meditation, It doesn't guarantee that you become a more compassionate person. It doesn't guarantee that. And but this is so important. It is like the two wings. Just by having the right wing doesn't guarantee that you can fly without the left wing. Just by having the left wing without the right wing, again, it doesn't guarantee that you will fly. So we require both. Likewise, Dharma practice, always keep in mind that it's not only one side. For example, say the wisdom of emptiness. Oh, this is the ultimate. And then with the wisdom of emptiness, you can attain Buddhahood. That's not true. Wisdom of emptiness is one wing. Without the other wing, you cannot. And the other wing is the Bodhicitta. Just by Bodhicitta, without wisdom, again, it cannot take you to Buddhahood. So, and even if you have these two things, but without the support of the shamatha meditation, single point meditation, again, you cannot reach there. So all these three are like the three pillars. The three pillars to build up, what do you call that? The three like supports, the poles to for a tent, for a simple tent with the three pillars supporting each other, and then you can have the tent. You can use it as your shelter. But say in the absence of any of the three pillars, it cannot stand, so it will fall. So all three are required: renunciation, bodhicitta, wisdom, emptiness, and these three must be supported by the single-pointed meditation. In other words, 4 pillars required. Okay. So, but this first thing that we're doing is the single-pointed meditation. And Ben, thank you for your bell. It's so beautiful. Okay. I know that okay, just raise your hands those who have no exposure to meditation in your life. Raise hands. No exposure to meditation. We do not really do the, say, like 1 week meditation, 2 weeks meditation, 10 weeks meditation, so forth. Raise hands. Once in a while I do, but then I don't do it regularly. Raise hands. Okay. Particularly those who have no idea, or strangely, in fact, I trust people very easily. So when somebody says that I meditated for 3 years, then I just take for granted the person must be so good in meditation. And one time I was surprised, not pleasantly surprised, that somebody said that I meditate every day. For how long have you been meditating? 3 years. Then I didn't ask any question. I just took for granted. One day he came to me and said that, Geshe, now in my meditation, buildings are coming up in my meditation. I said, what kind of meditation are you doing? Then I realized that 3 years doesn't mean anything. You should have an authentic lineage. Without authentic lineage, it can be very dangerous. And it can become a very bad habit. And it's not a meditation, it is demeditation. So therefore, what I suggest is that even if those who have been doing meditation, what I'm sharing with you can be like a refreshing, to refresh or to reinforce, to rebuild the sense of, to fine-tune your meditation. And those who do not have a proper understanding of what meditation is, you get the proper, say, the understanding. So that's very important. Okay. Although I didn't explain yesterday, but I'm going to redo it here for us. It's like a reminder for us. 4 points to keep in mind. 1, body posture. Number 2, focal point. Number 3, identifying the errors of meditation. Number 4, applying the remedies to overcome the errors. Let me repeat this. Body posture, focal point, identifying the errors of meditation, applying the remedies to overcome the errors. Okay, 4 points. We need to remember all these 4 points to make sure that our meditation is well checked with these 4 points, that you don't go through any, let's say, the mistakes pertaining to these 4. First, even the body posture plays a very important role. One is sitting cross-legged, and cross-legged is the same. Your left foot on your right leg and the right foot on your left leg. Okay, this is the, and particularly for a long-term practice, this is extremely helpful. It'll keep your body, yes.
The question I had is that there's 2 ways to do the lotus. We could cross one way or cross the other way.
So I told you only one way.
Yeah. Okay. Is there a reason for that?
Okay. Then so basically that there should be some standard, right? Some standard. And one day then you may put your feet on your neck, right? Why not? This is correct. Okay, so there should be some standard. For example, even the hand, like this gesture, it's not like this, right? This is gesture there. So there should be some standard. Without the standard, then people can go into haywire, right? People, even with the standard, still the deviations happen. And over the next few days, you come to discover that, right? Even what is emptiness, deviations happen within the same group, you'll see the divisions happening. Okay, so the standard, one thing is a standard. Okay, this is very helpful. But if you do have leg problem, knee problems, back problem, don't force yourself. Particularly people who have, what is that, knee transplant, right? Knee replacement. So for those people who don't force yourself, you ought to sit on the chair. Okay, this is not really mandatory, but if you have no issue with your knees and so forth, then the learning to practice with the knee, cross-legged is extremely good for you, number 1. Number 2, which is so important, is the backbone upright. Backbone upright, this is so important. Again, if you have, say, the backache problem, then you can lean against the support, that's fine. But if you don't have any of these health issues, then sitting upright, this is extremely important. We must learn how to sit upright. One time when I was in school, just to teach meditation in school, all the boys and girls, they sit like this. It's very strange. Very young boys and girls, age 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, they never sit like this. Always sitting like this. I said, no, sit upright. They sit upright, and after a few minutes again go back like this. Okay, so let us learn how to sit upright. This is so important. And when you're not meditating, still sit upright. And if you want to lean against the support, lean against the support, but keep your body upright. Let's make it a habit to sit upright. This is very important. And your head tilted forward a little bit, and your eyes not closed. Eyes half open, 45 degrees cast down, and ignore. Don't close your eyes. Don't strain your eyes also. Okay, and then the tip of the tongue should touch the upper palate to avoid excessive accumulation of saliva in your mouth. And the teeth and the lips in their natural course. Breathe normally. Don't control your breath. Don't force your breath. Don't control your breath. Just let it flow normally. And your right hand on your left hand, the tips of the two thumbs joining, forming a triangle. The two thumbs standing, forming a triangle. Place the two hands on your lap in a restful state. This is your body posture. Meanwhile, your body is upright, but the body should not be rigid. It should be flexible. This is so important. Okay, this is your body posture. This is also known as the 7-limb Varicana posture, Buddha Varicanas, the sitting posture. Next, what is next? Focal point. We're going to meditate on. This is one. There are focal point. There are thousands of versions are there. It's not that what you're doing is the right, and what others are doing is wrong. It's not the case. Everyone is correct as long as you are following an authentic tradition, be it Buddhist tradition, Hindu tradition, Jain tradition, or even Christian tradition or Islamic tradition, Sufism, and I don't know about others, to any tradition where they say it helps you to make your mind more and more fresh, you make your mind more and more alert, more and more sharp, that meditation is good. Okay. The full point, what you do is they if possible, go for this multitasking, two things happening simultaneously. One is counting your breath, just counting your breath, and even the counting the breath, there are so many versions there. What are you doing is a very simple one. Just count the breath. No need to follow the breath. No need to follow the breath. There are systems where you follow the breath. You say following the breath in the form of a tiny, very thin, white line, like a very thin, white smoke light entering through your right nostril and getting down at the base, and then entering through the central channel, coming up again. The entering through the right nostril, coming out, entering the right nostril, going down. So this is, and likewise on the left side. The very sophisticated versions are there, but we're not doing these. We're doing just counting the breath. Breathe in, breathe out. Just count the breath. And multitasking. While you count the breath, you also visualize a tiny white dot, like 1 mm or 2 mm in diameter, a tiny white dot between nose and upper lip. Just scratch this, scratch the position. Okay, you feel that you are scratching it, and you scratch at the back. You're not looking at it, but you could feel it. You would feel it. So there, your body sense consciousness, it is aware of the scratch, but you are aware, yes, I'm scratching. Yes, I could feel the scratch. Yes, I could feel the scratch. That is not your body sense. It is your mental consciousness. So we are not using the body sense. We're not using the sense consciousnesses to do the meditation. We're using the mental consciousness to do the meditation. For example, let's say that my eyes are cast on you, but my mind, my mental consciousness is not cast on you. My mental consciousness is meditating on something else. Okay, so there you should be able to learn how to dissect, how to differentiate the sense consciousness and mental consciousness. And the mental consciousness is to be employed to meditate. If you just look at this flower here with eyes like this is not meditation. Even if you sit like this for 10 hours, like this is meditation. This is where your eye consciousness employed, not your mental consciousness. So the meditation should be the mental consciousness. Even if I look at the flower here, I can be meditating on compassion. I can be meditating on emptiness. So that is done where your eye consciousness, whatever object it comes in contact with, that assumes your eye consciousness. But a mental consciousness, it is in your hand. You can deviate, you can direct it towards any object you like. So your mental consciousness is going to be employed to meditate. Okay, so with this, there are multitasking happening. One is the counting the breath, and the other one is visualizing the tiny white dot between nose and upper lip. Your eyes should not look at it. Your eyes 45 degrees cast down and ignore. It is a mental consciousness which is creating this image there, white dot between the two, and then focus on this white dot, simultaneously counting breath. These two things should happen together. This is what we call as the multitasking. Okay, this is the focal point. What is number 3? Identify the errors of meditation. When you do meditate, what mistakes can happen? This is so important. This is where my friend who said that nowadays in my meditation, all the buildings are coming up, which means that the person is not at all aware, being careful of point number 3 and point number 4. Point number 3 is identifying the errors of meditation. What mistakes can we make in the process of doing meditation? So generally speaking, there are two mistakes. And if you really want to go into the proficiency of this meditation, then there are many nuances there. There are many nuances. And in fact, recently in Italy, there was one gentleman who did not really speak English too well, but is exceptionally gifted with intelligence. So what he was saying, language-wise, he could not do well, and he was attending the Nalanda diploma course, this one, and he was fully dedicated. And the questions that he was asking was some of the questions which came to me way later in my life. He was just asking after learning the Nalanda diploma course. I was so fascinated. Some of the questions about the meditation, which came to me way later in my life, after the practice of meditation. Oh, these things, that's very strange. It never occurred to my mind before. And so recently in Italy, he just, without any command of the English, he did this Nana Master diploma course, and he was so genuine, so genuine. And he asked this question. I was just stuck with oh wow, that's amazing. There's a great degree of intelligence inside and a great imprint of the Dharma practice. This is what I could sense in him. Okay, so what I'm saying is that he asks these nuanced questions. What I'm saying is those who want to go into proficiency in the single point of meditation and so forth, then you are bound to experientially see nuanced the errors in meditation, nuanced errors in meditation. These require very specialized teaching, very specialized help. For general audience, we can say the errors. One is mental excitement, and the other one is mental laxity. Mental excitement is overactivity of your mind. Mental distraction is happening. Mental distraction, discursiveness. So these are all the mental excitement, overactivity of your mind, where your mind does not sit on the meditation, the focal point. Instead, it wanders here and there. This is the one mistake. And the other mistake is the mental laxity, the heaviness of the mind. Your mind sinks. Your mind goes to the sleep. That is the inactivity of the mind. These two are the major problems of the meditation. Should any of these two things happen, don't just, particularly with the distraction is fine. Distraction, mental laxity, mental excitement is fine. With the mental laxity, they are the subtle ones and the gross ones. With the gross ones, you just feel like dozing off. You just feel like sleeping, falling asleep. Whereas the subtle one, you could still see that you are actually doing the meditation, but there's the heaviness in the mind. Mental, a tinge of a sluggishness happens. Mental heaviness happens, and you don't feel like, even though your meditation session is it's up, still you don't feel like getting up. These are not good indications. If you don't feel like getting up from the meditation, even the meditation time is up, still you just feel like sitting, and you may look for an excuse. Yeah, I want to do more meditation. No, actually, this is the indication of your mental laxity. Mental laxity is, and then if you stay in this state for long, instead of help, it can be very harmful. You feel a tinge of a mental heaviness there, and like say inserviceability of your mind, and the non-pliant state of your mind. Your mind feels heavy and not fresh. It's a mixture of a bliss. It's not a good bliss. So that's very dangerous. So this can actually accumulate what is known as mental laxity. And accumulation of mental laxity can make your mind very dull. for emptiness. What is the path of liberation? What is the liberating path? The wisdom of emptiness. And wisdom of emptiness requires your mind to be extremely sharp and alert and fresh and extremely dexterous. Whereas when the mind becomes lax, and if you build this habit of staying in this lax state, the mind loses its rigor. The mind loses rigor. Without the rigor, you cannot get emptiness at all. So this is very dangerous in that, from that point of view. Okay, so should these two mistakes happen, what should we do? We go for number 4. What's number 4? Applying the remedies to overcome the errors. So there are 2 remedies. One is introspection, and the other one is mindfulness. Introspection is once in a while keep an eye on your mind to see if your mind is still meditating, or it is already in a lax state, or it is already in the excited state, mental discursiveness or mental excitation. So with the help of this introspection, if you do discover that your mind is not meditating, or it is in a lax state or excited state, then go for the mindfulness. And the mindfulness is like the rope. Your mind, which otherwise you would be meditating, is like your pet dog. Now you have lost a pet dog, you go in search of the pet dog, that is introspection. Once you find the pet dog, the job of the introspection is done. Now the job is the job of the rope. Tie the dog with the rope, bring it back home, and tie it to the pillar at your home. Likewise, bring the mind back to the intended object of the meditation. That is the job of the mindfulness. Are you ready? 21 cycles. Okay. Due to constraint of time, we just do 21 cycles, and from tomorrow 5 minutes. 5 minutes is like, for some people it's going to be 60 cycles, for others can be like 70, 80, depending on the length of your breath. Okay, so we have only about 5 minutes. What we do is that we will do in lieu of the renunciation on the 4 seals. I'll just recite the 4 seals very slowly, and you try to reflect on meanings as much as you can. Renunciation. Renunciation is to renounce your miseries. To renounce the miseries, we need to know how to renounce the causes of the miseries. And the causes of miseries, they are identified as misconceiving impermanent phenomena as permanent, misconceiving impure things as pure, misconceiving the miseries as happiness, and misconceiving what is selfless nature as that of selfhood. To remove these four misconceptions, the Buddha taught the four seals, subsumed, the remedy is subsumed under the first three seals, and the last one is the resultant state. All composite things impermanent. All contaminated things are suffering nature. And everything is the nature, emptiness, selflessness, which we are yet to discuss. By discovering this fact, the third seal, everything is nature, emptiness, selflessness, you wake up from the sleep of ignorance. And all the tension, stress, anxiety, the torments that we experience in the dream, the moment you wake up, you're freed from all these tensions, anxiety, stress, and so forth. This is the transcendence of sorrow. Transcendence of sorrow is absolute peace. You got with this mind, with folded hands, I will say a line of Bodhicitta, and we'll all say this 3 times together. And from tomorrow we will do the 4 vegetables in lieu of the Bodhicitta practice. But today we don't have time. And when we say this, try to say this from the depth, from the bottom of your heart. It may sound superficial. It doesn't matter. This is how we begin with any practice, including the practicing music, the musical instrument. You first begin with the very superficial, mimicking your teacher, which is so superficial, and yet there is no music coming out. Later on, you become better and better at it, and eventually beautiful music comes out of it. This is the only way by which we can practice or train in any noble things. May I become Buddha for the benefit of all my dear mother sentient beings. May I become Buddha for the benefit of all my dear mother sentient beings. May I become Buddha for the benefit of all my dear mother sentient beings. Okay, just stay in this experience of the unconditional love of Bodhicitta, the most beautiful mind which wishes to become Buddha for the benefit of all dear mother sentient beings. Okay, slowly transform this beautiful mind of Bodhicitta in the form of a spotlessly clean white moon disk, horizontally sitting with the heart. Now visualize with great compassion. You visualize that this moon that you visualize at the heart multiplies infinite number of times. And share one moon at the heart of your mother, one share it with your father, one with each one of your family members, including your children, one with each of the sentient beings here in Thosamling, in this world, in the Milky Way galaxy, and in the entire universe. Okay, good. Now we will do the meditation prayer. Page 52. I dedicate the merit thus gathered towards the realization of the decent prayers of the Buddhas and the Bodhisattvas for 3 times, and to the upholding of the doctrine of scripture and insight. May I in all lives, through the force of this merit, never separate from the 4 wheels of the Mahayana vehicle, and accomplish all the stages of the path, renunciation, bodhicitta, perfectly in the 2 stages. From my 2 collections, vast the space that I've amassed, from working with effort at this practice for a great length of time, may I become the chief leading Buddha for all those whose minds crystallized blinded by ignorance. Eyata Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasamgate Bodhiswatyata Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasamgate Bodhiswatyata Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasamgate Bodhiswaha. Okay, 3 persuasions together.